Governor J.B. Pritzker looking to hold the Trump administration accountable, alleging all kinds of abuses against the people of Chicago and the suburbs, immigration enforcement ongoing, and you got the Trump administration still at the U.S. Supreme Court asking them to intervene and let them have the Guard help the ICE agents on the ground. It's Illinois in Focus Daily. I'm Greg Bishop, editor at The Center Square. Go to thecentersquare.com and get the newsletter today. So Thursday morning, Governor J.B. Pritzker held a news conference, and he announced an executive order that he's signed that would essentially create the Illinois Accountability Commission. It's a new commission. It's got three different things it's focused on. One, getting a record of alleged abuses that Immigration and Customs Enforcement allegedly conducted against the people of Chicago, getting the impact on communities, and then also looking for justice and how to keep certain things from happening again. They have a deadline to get a report, this new commission, that's going to be under a already existing state agency, so there's going to be some taxpayer costs there. How much? Not revealed during the news conference yesterday, but the commission is going to take all kinds of testimony from people. They're going to put together a report. They're going to issue this report in January, and the governor says it's because Immigration and Customs Enforcement are coming at the Chicago community hard.
In the short time, we have witnessed countless acts of harassment and intimidation and brutality and abuse of power perpetrated against law-abiding civilians across our communities. Trump's masked agents have detained innocent American citizens and legal residents. They have used unmarked cars, a Black Hawk helicopter, automatic weapons, and battering rams to raid an apartment building filled with almost entirely, families and children. They've thrown tear gas and smoke grenades at peaceful crowds.
And we've seen also the evidence of individuals kicking ICE vehicles, getting into the federal agents' area where they're conducting operations, federal immigration enforcement. You have the Trump administration. You have the Trump administration filing to the U.S. Supreme Court with a list of all of the different kinds of conflicts they've had to face on the streets and how they've had to divert resources from DHS from other areas of enforcement to help protect federal assets in Illinois. And all that's part of the conversation of, can Trump use the National Guard? So Pritzker Thursday during the news conference announcing the executive order that he signed to create this Illinois Accountability Commission, he talked about how he believes that the ICE officials and Trump administration individuals are abusing the law under the color of law.
Under normal circumstances, federal agency supervisors and inspectors general would enforce proper legal procedures and protocols and hold accountable those who violate them. But Donald Trump, Stephen Miller, Kristi Noem, Tom Homan, and Greg Bovino have failed their oaths of office and allowed agents under their command to act unconscionably under the color of law. They have given the impression that their actions are immune from investigation or accountability. They are not. We have a duty to ensure that the truth is preserved so the public can know what their elected and appointed officials have done, and so the courts and the Congress can eventually hold people accountable.
So the governor saying he's going to have this commission with this report in January, and the website's going to come soon, and people who want to be able to add to that and provide testimony. He's also encouraging people to continue to go out and film what's happening on the streets with immigration enforcement in Chicago and the surrounding area. I connected with House Minority Leader Tony McCombie, who was critical of the governor's executive order.
Well, it's not surprising. Here we have another executive order that is for political purposes. And, I think the interesting thing is that it's going to be due in January. But nobody's talking about anymore about accountability for the 1,200 children who died under our care during his term and over 3,000 seriously injured. Where's that report? But mark my words, they'll get this report out because it'll be right before the primary.
McCombie went on to talk about the lack of recognition that some of these, quote, peaceful protesters are getting violent in and around immigration enforcement.
Oh, I think so. Also, I mean, this isn't his first attack on law enforcement. And I think we're going to continue to see it next week here in Illinois when they're talking about qualified immunity. And this is really I think the setup for that. It's like the ask for the budget, the 4% cut was a setup for us to have a tax increase. Today's executive order is a setup talking about federal immunity, but really they're going to remove qualified immunity for our own law enforcement here. So this isn't a new thing for the governor or the majority party to attack law enforcement. And, we side with the side of law enforcement. Our main job is public safety, and to continue to do a call for people to go out, take videos, be disruptors, I think is just only going to continue to add flames to the fire. And to even add to that, I mean, he says in this thing this morning, this press conference this morning, that, well, this isn't how federal agents should be doing this. This isn't how it works. They should be putting out warrants and collaborating with our law enforcement. Well, he's expanded the Trust Act to the extent that law enforcement couldn't collaborate with federal agents. So that's on him too. And
that issue of the Trust Act, something possible could come up at the Illinois General Assembly, which meets Tuesday this coming week for the final 3 days of fall veto session. We'll talk a lot more about that Monday, so be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to wake up with us each and every weekday morning here for Illinois in Focus Daily. But McCombie saying, hey, the Trust Act, it's already keeping local law enforcement from communicating with federal immigration authorities, and they may be looking to enhance it as Democrats look to, quote, Trump-proof Illinois.
At this point, Greg, I'm not really sure. It's pretty expanded as far as it is. I think there was some talk about hospitals, which we don't have a problem now that I'm aware of from hospitals with ICE going in or anybody going into hospitals. So I think we'll see some kind of similar to what the mayor of Chicago did about being on Chicago-owned, land, that they're not allowed to stage there. I think you're going to see maybe some of that on a statewide basis.
Again, fall veto session begins. Final 3 days, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We will bring you the latest each and every weekday morning here with Illinois in Focus Daily. Where's this going to go? Be sure to get to the website. Even over the weekend, the news is going to break, especially if the U.S. Supreme Court comes out with any kind of ruling on that preliminary injunction of using the guard to assist ICE on the streets of Chicago. We'll definitely get that updated and talk about it Monday if it happens, but obviously be here Monday because we got tons of other stuff to tackle, all right? It's Illinois in Focus Daily. There's always something going on in Illinois, and that's why we do this daily with the Center Square.